let's have a look at the EF550CTC electromagnetic door lock. So this is the there's two of these units. There's one called a mini mag. There's a separate video on that. This is the one that we tend to use pretty much as our standard lock on the access control systems we use. It's a bigger, more robust lock, and we tend to find anywhere that is really required to be kept secure, this is the lock we prefer because of its holding power. It's sort of 1200 decanewtons, and we find if somebody's actually trying to kick in a door with one of these locks attached to it, the door tends to give out before the lock will actually release. Now, typical stuff, law of the lever thing here, if you get a good enough angle on the door, you might breach the lock, but typically we're seeing the header of the door being left behind and the door bent or buckled long before somebody actually managed to overpower the lock. So you get the usual accoutrements with it. You get the keeper plate. So typically this is the unit that gets attached to the door, and then that when the door swings shut, it clicks onto the actual magnetic unit and it's held in place. So this particular one here, as standard, it comes with a bolt that goes through the door. You drill a hole through the door, this goes in, then the rubber washer goes on, and that allows for a little bit of wiggle or give on this so that it gets a firm lock when it's magnetized. We actually, as for the jobs where we're doing the installing, we don't tend to do it where we bolt through the door. There's a variety of reasons for this. These nuts will eventually undo over time, so you have to have a maintenance regime in place where you're making sure you're tightening these bolts again. And then there's also a question mark of, if you drill through a fire door or something, is it still maintained as a fire door? So there's accessories that we use for that. That's an armature backplate, and I'll do a separate video on that. But that's a plate that we actually fit this plate into, and then it goes onto the fire door, and this is actually fixed to the door, so the plate itself fits inside that, and you just bolt straight through this, and you're not actually penetrating the whole lot of the door. In terms of the lock itself, you have your plus and minus go inside here, and then you have a connector block as well for monitoring your door, so it'll actually tell you if it's open or closed, and there's an LED that is green when it's locked, and red if it's sort of breached. You know, the typical thing there, the mounting instructions for actually fitting it on the door. There's a sort of a mock-up of how it's done, and this kind of shows the bit where I'm showing you here where this bolt goes through the door. So you have a selection of options there. So I mean, it's a nice unit. It's a heavy duty one. We do sell the mini mag locks as well, so if that's something you need rather than the heavy duty, or you're replacing existing equipment, we can help you out with that. Yep, that's the EF550CTC. Thanks very much.